Committee reports, legislative update, Mrs. Shorter.
I have a couple of things. There are a couple of things that we're going to be keeping an eye on. And thank you, Mr. Birding, for providing some information from Butler Tech. This is a pretty exhaustive list. So, hang on. Sorry. Not quite as organized as I should be here. So House Bill 305, which is the Cupp-Patterson financing, school financing formula bill, that is starting to gather a little bit more interest. Right now, there are about 60 sponsors total for the bill, but they are hoping that they're going to generate some new activity on it. So the House Finance Committee, and the last time the committee met was in November of 2019. So Gary Schreier of Centerville will now be working on HB 305 with Representative Patterson. So I'm hoping that more things will start to pan out on that. That's good news for us. One of the things that we want to keep an eye on in the report, it was noted that House Bill 478, which pertains to school vouchers, those changes regarding the eligibility criteria for educational choice scholarship program, there's not been any action on that for a while. However, there's a lame duck session that's coming up. The thoughts are that during the lame duck session, that is when they're going to start tinkering with that. So that is definitely something we want to keep an eye on. We want to make sure that we have visibility into what's going on and that nothing happens in the cover of night without, I guess, the best disinfectant, which is the public being aware of things. That was one of the reasons that we even came up with some of the problems with their choices. There was not a lot of public input. It was something that was sort of rushed through in the middle of, I think it was back in July of 2019. It was attached as a rider. There was hardly any public debate about it. And I'm thinking that there's something like that happening again. So we do want to make sure that we're aware of it. It has a big impact on public schools here in Ohio, particularly our district. So we're going to watch that. Those were the main items that I wanted to pull out of there, out of the report. If you have any detailed questions, I can try and answer those.
Any questions for Mrs. Shorter? Okay, thank you. I actually have, I had planned on giving an extensive Butler Tech update tonight, but I think I'm going to save it for our work session in September. And maybe I just have a lot of data to pass out as far as what the process is for applications, kids going to the career lab, what the numbers look for Fairfield compared to other districts. And then I think I'll share that at our next meeting. We'll just put it on an item for discussion. And that way I'll give you the materials ahead of time, and if we have any questions, you can ask me questions at that meeting. Would that be okay?
Sure.
All right. The Butler Tech did start school last week, and so far there's been no issues with students taking off masks, and they're abiding by all the safety protocols that are put in place, and so we're very excited for that. Hopefully that will translate into students here in Fairfield. And we had our first full school board meeting with all the participants back in the same building this past Tuesday, so it was good to see all of them back in the same meeting, so that was exciting. And other than that, I do want to give a couple just quick figures. 94% of the 2020 graduates were in their career field or in college or in the military. I thought that was pretty, 94%.
That's great, yeah.
So, and I thought that was a very impressive stat to have, and I wanted to share that with you tonight. So, Any questions for me? Okay. Let's, Planning Commission, Mr. Begley?
We've not met since our last board meeting.
Okay. Student Achievement, Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes, I wanted to recognize our drum majors on the marching band today. As you all know, we had the Welcome Back to Teachers, and typically the marching band performs at that. They had set up at the football stadium in hopes of performing, and then because of weather, it got canceled. And so I just wanted to acknowledge them because there was a lot of work that they did to get ready for that, and at the last minute had to change. And so sometimes work goes on behind the scenes and never gets recognized. So I just wanted to thank them. And we are all crossing our fingers that they have a great season ahead of them and get to perform plenty of times. So the 4 drum majors, and I'm sorry if I say their names wrong, Elena Dorning, Kayla McWhorter, Elena Scott, and Mariah Whitney. I just wanted to thank them for their efforts in preparing the football stadium and then not being able to use it in the end and having to kind of undo that work. But we're looking forward to seeing them. That's it.
Okay, any questions for Mrs. O'Neill? Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,